Welcome to the video tutorials of the book Methods, Evaluation and Research in Education by Mohammad Aktaruzzaman. And today we're going to learn how to start data analysis in SPSS. In fact, it is the basics of SPSS and it contains three parts. Part 1 is the introduction to SPSS. Part 2 is the variable declaration and setting its attributes in the SPSS data editor. And part 3 is the data entry and the rest 3 windows, which is syntax editor, chart editor and the output viewer. Let's start with part 1. SPSS stands for Statistical Package for Social Science. It is developed by the giant US company, International Business Machine, IBM. SPSS is the world's leading statistical software for business, government and academic organization. Using SPSS, a huge volume of data can be analyzed within a second. It is very efficient and accurate. SPSS works both in Windows XP and Windows 7. Throughout the book, we will use SPSS version 15, which is included in the DVD. The video tutorials will guide you from the beginning to the end of knowing SPSS, including how to install SPSS in your computer, data coding, entry, analysis and interpretation. Now, let's talk about the installation process of the software SPSS in Windows XP. Open the SPSS folder in the DVD and click the exe file to initiate installation and then click Next and Next. Thus, installation will be over. Let's see. However, after completing the installation, the patch file of SPSS should be copied into the installation directory, which is by default under the C drive, then program files, and then under SPSS evaluation folder. Now double click on it and then click the patch button below. See the message patching is done and then press exit. Otherwise, the SPSS software will not be usable after 30 days. For simplicity, now copy the data file here, which is included in the DVD. It may happen that the antivirus software used in your computer may detect the patch file as a virus. You can avoid this problem by simply right-clicking on it and disable the Auto Protect. Now, let's begin with some action. Go to the Start menu and then All Program Files and then SPSS for Windows and click the SPSS Evaluation Version icon. SPSS Data Editor will appear in the variable view. Sometimes it is observed that an output window comes automatically without any reason. One can stop it by going to Edit menu, then Options, and finally by deselecting the display commands in the log message, which is under the Draft Viewer tab. By doing this, the automatic output window will not appear in the future anymore. In appearance, SPSS is much similar to Microsoft Excel. Just have a look at it. But in terms of data analysis, SPSS cannot be compared with MS Excel or any other data analysis software. For example, you cannot do any inferential statistics in MS Excel. However, Microsoft Excel file can be opened in SPSS Data Editor and SPSS file can be saved as MS Excel file. Remember, SPSS cannot work on any type of computed data or group data. For example, the calculated mean, standard deviation, or any data organized using frequency distribution cannot be placed in SPSS. Rather, the raw data from where the mean, standard deviation, and others are calculated are used in this software. Basically, in SPSS, there are four main windows. These are SPSS Data Editor, Output Viewer, Chart Editor, and Syntax Editor. The first one, SPSS Data Editor, has two views, Variable View and Data View. In fact, the Variable View is for data coding and Data View is for data entry. Data coding means variable declaration and setting its attribute. Let's go through an example of how to code and enter the data in SPSS. Believe it or not, my friend, it is nothing but few clicks of the mouse in most of the cases. Declare two variables, for example, name and age. Write down name and age. Okay, see, all the attributes are set automatically. Only thing you have to do is now to select the appropriate attributes of the variable. For example, at the screen name is numeric type variable by default. Let's change it to string, as any name should be of string type variable. See the age variable. It is numeric variable with decimal value 2. Keep it like this for the time being. Now, go to the data view of the SPSS Data Editor and enter the data. For example, in the name column, write just Tamzeed and Tahmeed. And, write Tahmeed. Okay, and in the age column, write 20 and 25. You see, it will show 20.00 and 25.00. But there should not be any decimal point. We can modify it by decreasing the decimals in the variable view from 2 to 0. Just decrease it from 2 to 0. Alright, now see the data view. It's perfectly alright, my friend, isn't it? So, we have seen just one of the four windows in SPSS and a glimpse of data coding. We will learn more in detail about how to start data analysis in SPSS in part 2 and part 3 of the tutorial 1, and more advanced technique of data analysis in the subsequent tutorials of the book. Thank you for staying with us. It's Yazdani saying you goodbye.